Hello Middle-earth fans and welcome back to the Quest of the Ringbearer series over here on this new channel. Obviously we've spent the last couple of weeks doing Goldberry Ferry. It took quite a long time to get all of the scenery ready to rock and roll for that. The river itself took quite a number of time to like 3D print it all and then get it all built and painted. But anyway, we got through, we've done the first scenario, Farmer Maggot's crop. That was really cool. We had a lot of fun. We did the shortcuts, make long delays. We just did Goldberry Ferry. Next is technically supposed to be the Old Forest, but I find that scenario to be a complete waste of time and pointless. It is just the hobbits walking from one side of a board to the other with no evil things inside, and sometimes they get a wallop of a tree, and that's it. I don't think it's going to make for very good, videos or anything. I don't have to paint anything else for it, so we're just going to skip that one. Which means the next one we're going to do is another one that if you've just seen the movies and you've never read the books, you will have little to no idea what this is. It is called Fog on the Barrow-downs, and it's finally where we will get to see the glorious Tom Bombadil and Goldberry come into the story. Tom Bombadil is an incredibly powerful creature inside of his realm, and inside of his realm is where this scenario will be set. I have all of the models set up and sprayed and built and ready to rock and roll. I actually made too many Barrow-wights. You're only supposed to have 4. I thought it was 6 before I read the scenario, so I have 6 prepped here. I'm going to paint up 6. It'll be like a nice half warband if I ever need to play them in actual games of Middle-earth. You have the 4 hobbits in their shrouds. We'll get to why they're in shrouds a little bit later on. Goldberry and Tom Bombadil. So this is going to be a 3-part series. So over the next 3 weeks, we'll get through this scenario. We're going to start by painting the 6 Barrow-wights in this video. Next week, we will paint Tom Bombadil, Goldberry, and the 4 hobbits. And then the week after, we'll actually play through the scenario of Fog on the Barrow-downs. So that's going to be very fun, and I'm very excited to share that with you. As always, thank you guys so much for all your continued support over on the channel, or any of the channels for that matter. I appreciate all the views, all the likes, comments, subscribing. It's all huge. And then obviously all the guys out there go the extra step and support over on Patreon. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I try and give as much back as I can on Patreon with extra videos. You get the podcast, you get access to a private Discord server, and I try and do giveaways. Well, I do giveaways every single month for you guys. This month, thanks to Underworld Gaming, the local independent stockist that supports this channel, they have donated this box set for me to give to one of my Patreons at the end of this month. So if anyone is in the market for a new Eldar Raiders box set, wants to be in with a chance of winning that, all they need to do is be signed up to the Patreon at any tier. We do that size giveaways every single month, so it's definitely worth your time checking it out. Okay, without further ado, let's dive in and get these Barrow-wights painted up. Okay, and these are the Barrow-wights that I shall be painting up. I'm actually painting up 6 of them, but there's only 2 sculpts. These are the 2 sculpts, so there's 3 of each of these variants being done. And like I said in the intro, I kind of got 6 of them prepared and got them sprayed and like put them together with the rest of the models from this scene. Then I went and read the mission and turns out there's only 4 Barrow-wights you're supposed to use, but I'm going to paint up all 6 because why not? I'm going to start with a Briar Queen Chill contrast paint. It's a very rarely used contrast paint, at least from my point of view. But it does achieve what I wanted to and gives me that kind of ethereal, ghostly glow. It's the perfect starting point for the kind of ghostly effect I'm looking for the Barrow-wights. Now, these models are something that I've never really come across and never really used before in the Lord of the Rings games. So I actually read up on their rules properly last night. I didn't realize they were so expensive points-wise. Each wight is far more expensive than each individual hobbit. So it's going to be a tough time in a few weeks having these Barrow-wights chasing the poor hobbits across the barrows and trying to sacrifice them on their altars. It's going to be pretty funny. But I'm very excited for that game. I said in the intro there as well that there's going to be 3 videos which will make up this series. Obviously, I talked about doing the Barrow-wights, and then doing basically all the good guys, so the 4 paralyzed hobbits, Tom Bombadil and Goldberry, and then doing the scenario itself. Once again, like I said, I only read the scenario fully last night, and I forgot there was supposed to be 4 cairns, kind of burial mounds with kind of entrances as the scenery. So of course, I'm going to spend some time and I'm going to do a whole video getting some cairns ready, probably 3D printed and getting them painted up and flocked up and terrained up and have them matching in with the board so that we have some proper scenery to play the scenario properly. I don't know how many times in my life I will get to play through the Quest for the Ringbearer series, so if I'm going to do it this time, I'm going to do it properly. Every scenario should have proper scenery, proper models, proper everything. For this section here, you saw me grabbing some Sir Coates silver paint. You can, of course, just use lead belcher if you have it. And it's just a nice silver paint. From here, we're moving on to Chaos Bronze from the Two Thin Coats range, which is a really nice kind of goldy bronze color, which are going to be used for all of the alternate armor panels that exist on this model. So he's got some extra ornamentation and a few extra bits and pieces on it that I'm going to hit with that gold, just so it's not just like ghost and silver. It's fairly simplistic, but it does actually look really nice and it makes a big difference. I think I originally bought 12 of these guys. I bought a full warband, and I can't imagine taking a 600-point warband of ghosts in any game ever. I don't know what I was thinking. Probably pass on the other 6 of these guys to someone else. I have a few friends who have nice collections of Lord of the Rings. Maybe they're missing some Barrow-wights. Null oil was then used and thrown over the entire miniatures, top to tail, which will shade everything down nicely. Some people may be thinking that I'm crazy here, throwing null oil over that ghostly glow, but it's supposed to be gloomy, it's supposed to be dark, it's supposed to be sinister. It's not a Scooby-Doo ghost, you know what I mean? So the black will help it. Now I am watering it down. It's quite a bit thinned, so it isn't going to stain it as crazily as you think it will. It will just look really nice. When that's fully dry, we move on to this Riser Rust and Ushabti Bone. Now this is for dry brushing over that AK texture paste we put on the base, which was Dark Earth, in case anyone was curious. Riser Rust dry brush over that, making sure that obviously everything on the model is fully dry, both the texture paste and that Null oil. Before you move on to this step, adds a nice richness to the soil and will help it blend into all the other bases that I have for the Lord of the Rings collection. And then when I jump up to the next stage, which is that Ushabti Bone, which is normally just put over, of course, the base itself, over that orange to once again soften it all up and make it look really nice. But I thought it would be a really nice color to accent the blue ghosty effect with, so I did actually bring it up onto the model and dry brush all of the ghost effects with it as well. And this gave me kind of exactly what I wanted. And even if you look at the examples they have on the Games Workshop website, it kind of looks like this. So I was happy not to go in and like individually layer up all the ghost sections. I think I wouldn't have made it look as smooth, as natural as this. So I'm happy to leave the ghost stuff like that. It's at this stage I decided to tidy up the base rims. Nice thin coat, 2 thin coats of a really matte black paint. Really helps to kind of tidy up the base. I love a nice tidy base. I usually get my base done like this halfway through the painting process because I like working on something that's on a tidy base. I know it makes sense. It just helps my mentality when I'm painting through. We've gone back to the Sir Coates silver paint to retouch up the silver parts of it. And then we're jumping up to Ancient Gold from 2 Thin Coats to highlight and layer up all of the bronze parts we did, all that Chaos Bronze, which obviously isn't a lot on these models. Some of them have crowns. They have kind of shoulder pauldrons and a few other accents and a bit of detail, belts maybe, all done with this. So it only takes a couple of minutes to highlight kind of all 6 of the models. But it does, of course, make a huge difference. It makes those details pop. The models already look amazing. I'm really happy with these so far. The last thing we're going to do is these guys are obviously ancient. They're supposed to be hundreds if not thousands of years old, and their cairns kind of drifting out amongst the fog. So just to make them look a little bit older, again, we are going to grab some Nilic Oxide, and we're going to oxide up all of that kind of brassy bronze armor and the silver. Just in the recesses. Nothing crazy. We don't want to stain the entire model, or we'll go back to that Scooby-Doo ghost look. So you can see I'm just putting it in anywhere where kind of armor meets other armor panels, where there's little shelves, little lips, anywhere that water would gather on the model. We're just going to throw in a little bit of Nilic Oxide on that. From there, it's time to base the miniature, and I've been playing around a lot with the Green Stuff World kind of package they sent me with all the different like little bushes and shrubs and flocks and all those kind of bits, and I'm having a lot of fun with them. And I kept thinking to myself to do like a little bit of unique basing for certain scenes, and these guys are like the Barrows, so I thought having some of those kind of colorful looking wildflowers would look really cool on them. And then obviously cairns are usually covered in moss, so I decided to do the rest of their ground looking like a little bit of built up old moss. This is the only scenario where the Barrow-wights are encountered, so they themselves plus Tom Bombadil and Goldberry can have these just like unique set of bases, which will help them blend in. So I'm going to do that with all them. So as you can see, I just put a few wildflowers in, and then I've got this kind of mossy stuff, which I really like putting a blob of super glue down. And then you get this sponge stuff and you just press it really hard into the super glue. And the super glue obviously soaks up into the sponge and goes rock solid in seconds. And it looks really, really nice. And it's a really, really simple thing to do. And then you can just kind of pluck and pull it away to make it thinner or a different shape. I love filling it in under the wildflowers. just to cover up where the wildflowers are hitting the base. And it's already just starting to look like really nice natural bases. I really, really liked how these turned out. Maybe for an entire evil army for one of my Lord of the Rings forces I'll do this with. But anyway, like promised, I did all 6 cairn rates exactly the same. They all match in. They're a beautiful little force that the Hobbits will have to fight. I'm tempted to put all 6 of them in the scenario to make the scenario a little bit harder, just for a little bit more fun. And like I said, I really like these mossy wildflower bases. Please let me know what you think in the comments of these bases. Do you like them? Do you think I went a little bit overboard with them? Are you excited to see the cairns I decide to 3D print? Obviously, I'll have a lot of these mosses and wildflowers as well. And then obviously Tom Bombadil, Goldberry, and all of the paralyzed hobbits will be in the next couple of weeks. I played around with some moody shots of these guys. I had some blue light over them for the moon. I had them kind of sifting through the trees and stuff like that. And then I had them, of course, just for a little bit of fun, sneaking up on some hobbits. And then just for the last bit, just for an extra little bit of fun, poor fatty Bulgers getting hunted by one. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one.